As a stapler.
Yeah.
The boy, we're about to meet the best character.
Yeah.
The best character in the game.
Yep.
Oh, it's funny because he's paper.
See, like, at least in the older games, they were a little bit more subtle with the paper jokes, because in Sticker Star, they basically do it
pretty subtle,
constantly.
Michael.
Because, like, even in the beginning, there's, like, this one... you have to go around the town and find the toads, and then there's this one guy who was folded up, like, 100 into, like, 128ths of himself. Like, he was folded 8 times. They make that joke, and it's just like... and then they make so many of them, and it's just like, it's not funny, you know? Because, like, I think the paper style works really well for Paper Mario 1 in particular because of the limitations of the Nintendo 64. Like, the character models and sprite work in this game look top-notch for Nintendo 64. Like, compared to something like Ocarina of Time, where they use so many 2D objects that clash so hard with, like, the 3D backgrounds, like they're like the main city,
little grass patches and stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, the city is really bad.
The city is like pre-rendered backgrounds, and it looks terrible.
Yeah.
Compared to all of those Nintendo 64 games, Paper Mario has bright, colorful graphics and some really smooth, well-animated sprite work, and just
the fucking colors.
I mean, it's still a Nintendo 64 game. And
fuck.
Are you done?
Oh god! Look at those textures!
Eric, if you don't edit in the cum squirt sound effect, I just might have to kill myself.
I refuse to. I refuse.
But yeah, we got the hammer.
I gotta ask people. Our loyal, all 162,000 of our loyal fans.
Okay.
That Michael can name each and every one of. I gotta ask, what kind of style do you prefer for Game Mavericks? Do you prefer the Michael doing the whole, this game, it came out in 2020XX, and what I really like about it is the clashing of the things. Or do you like a little bit more of the like nonsense, aka everything that I splurge from my mouth? Or do you like the balance? Like what are you looking for? Because we do it for you. We do it for you guys.
Informative, insightful commentary and just utter horseshit.
Yes, exactly. I think there's a balance to be found, and I'm not quite sure we found it yet. And especially when it comes to like every time we've done pre-recorded stuff like Zero Mission and what was it? Super Mario Sunshine, the little bit that we did. Yeah. You go off. You're like, it's like you're reading from a Exo Paradigm Gamer 7-page script. And then I feel really out of place and I start singing some like Pearl Jam songs.
Keep going. I'm tapping this with my left hand. Keep going.
So the question is, well, like what do we do? What do we do? Because like I don't think either of us really care about like having like a huge community or stuff, but I'm just interested in what people want.
Yeah. Well, and, like the only
same
reason
with Unversecast, because as I was telling Michael, like, it's pretty formal from what I've heard. And if you haven't seen Unversecast, you can go check it out at youtube.com/Unversecast. Right? I'm not fucking linking it because that's work. But it's where they sort of cover sort of news and have discussions and stuff. But I was just I'm just wondering what the consensus is. I know there's probably audiences for both, but like,
yeah. Well, I mean, like the only reason I'm doing a lot of the Exo Paradigm Gamer review style commentary is just because we're at the beginning of the game. I just sort of want to set the stage,
but
you know.
You know how viewership sort of wanes.
Yeah.
As like the series goes on, I'm just wondering that if people are like come in and are overwhelmed with, here are the motifs presented by Paper Mario, and here's what is so great about the series, and here's what is this and this and this. You know, I'm.
By the way, I'm going to be showing this off real quick.
Weigh in.
But there are a couple of graphical artifacts, let's say, in Paper Mario that they really should have fixed, like especially for a like the second virtual console re-release. One thing I would recommend is, like, I think the best way to play this game is on a Nintendo 64, because you don't have to.
You're gonna want to download mods, and you're probably gonna have to overclock your system.
Yeah, don't emulate this game either. That's probably the absolute worst way to play it, because Paper Mario is not like most Nintendo 64 games. Like, I played this, out of all the 30 times I played this game, I played it on
I downloaded a Paper Mario ROM. I put it into my system, my emulator, and it said papermario.exe. I opened it up. Luigi was there. He grabbed a letter, he opened up, and it said, in blood, "I see you." And then the camera focuses on Luigi's face as a sweat drops from his cheek, and he looks up. And then Mario hears a scream from outside. What was once day has become night. It's raining, thundering. Luigi is facing the other way. Mario slowly walks up, trembling. He puts his right hand on Luigi's shoulder. Luigi turns around. He's that one bitch from 1,000 Year Door with the big boobs and the big cloud lady. She gives him a big kiss on the lips.
And then she says, "Luigi or Mario, I know this is hard to believe, but I'm actually you from the future."
I'm making a fucking creepypasta over here and clipping the mic.
Eric, if you don't have this creepypasta on my desk by 5 o'clock, you're fired.
I don't get my fucking creepypasta by 5 o'clock. You are all fired. All of you. Listen, I'll crush your fucking union.
What are you, Margaret Thatcher? You gonna crush my dang old union?
So topical. Oh, look at you. Oh, let me grab my glass of tea and raise it to that hella funny joke. Nice relevant Margaret Thatcher joke.
Listen.
Over here in 20XX. Get out of here.
The stuff that Reagan and Thatcher did in the 80s is still with us today. So, it is relevant. But let's not talk about politics.
It's relevant. Is it relevant to Paper Mario, Michael?
Not,
is that another motif? Is that another deep motif of Paper Mario?
It's not relevant to Paper Mario, so let's drop it.
Bowser represents Margaret Thatcher and her actions against fate as she attempts to bring down the society. Oh, if you've read the manga, you know this. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, you can now that we've taken a good, healthy intellectual break, you can go back to talking about your horseshit.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm just trying to keep the power in check, man. You're going crazy. You're like, oh, I got 10,000 subscribers. I make YouTube videos, and I'm like, Michael, you're forgetting about the little people. And there's enough little people to come up and take you over. I'm trying to keep you in check, Michael, before you go mad with power.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's not really too much to say about this opening. Like, one thing I will say about the prologue in Paper Mario, I mean, like, I'll be getting into why I prefer Paper Mario over 1,000 Year Door as we go along, but one thing I will say that 1,000 Year Door did a lot better was the prologue. Because, like, for this first chunk of the game, it's missing a crucial mechanic in the battle system. You don't unlock that until basically after you finish Goomba Village and reach Toad Town.
Timed tits.
Like, one of the central mechanics of the battle system in Paper Mario is the action command.
Tits.
Yeah, like timed hits from Super Mario RPG. It's basically the equivalent, but it's a little more complicated.
About timed tits.
Yeah, timed tits. And
hey, hold on, Michael. Come on, that's inappropriate. There are children watching this. Don't make stupid jokes like that.
Yeah, I have my little brother watching this right now, in fact. He's a little kid.
I am technically an adult. Only technically.
But,
adults are just big children. Let's be honest. Who's younger? Who's this? Is Haydox 18?
Yes. You can ask him who is older off screen. But Without action commands in the battle system.
He's definitely younger. He's definitely younger than me. I just want to bully one of our YouTube friends and call him a child.
If you're gonna bully someone, please don't make it Haydox. I've had enough of that shit. Okay.
Listen, I didn't mean to say it like that. It's not actual bullying. I meant more like teasing. But then again, like somebody who's 17, it's like all of a sudden, oh, if you're 17 in 364 days, you're not an adult. 365 days, A-okay.
Yeah. But as to what I was saying,
it's important.
Without action commands, the battle system in Paper Mario is pretty bland. I'm not gonna lie. And this first chunk of the game's not that bad, but it's just more like, and when you've played this game as many times as I have, and you can't do action commands or use a lot of the badges you want to use, basically because you haven't unlocked them yet. Because like in Thousand Year Door, you just have it right from the get-go. You can do action commands from the very first battle with Lord Crump. And not to be confused with Lord Drumpf. But,
Drumpf. It's pronounced Drumpf.
Yeah. And, by the way, if you give the dolly back to Goombaria, then she gives you a big sloppy kiss. And I like how Mario shudders. He's just like, ooh. And,
he paper shudders.
Yeah, you get a star piece for that. And you're going to want to collect star pieces because they'll help you get some pretty good badges. One thing I will be doing for this playthrough is I will be using Goombario's tattle ability on every enemy. I've managed to keep up with them all so far. But I will be cutting out most of the battles. Excited. So if it's an enemy we've already seen before, then I cut out the battle. If it's a required battle, I keep it in. So like if you have to fight them no matter what, then it'll be in there. But otherwise, most of the battles in this are cut out. So that should help. I don't know. That's what Brain Scratch does. And so that's what I'm doing for this, because like I don't want to 90% of this playthrough to just be watching me beat the same enemies over and over again. But yeah, so if you guys wanted to know a bunch of super fun facts about Goombas, then this is the playthrough for you.
Small fry.
But as to why the action commands, because like once you get the action commands, you can kill Goombas in one turn. Like Mario can attack and Goomba at full health and kill him basically with one attack. But because I don't have that right now, the only way to really speed battles up and keep you from taking too much damage is to use first strikes to help weaken one of the enemies first. And
wow,
I think I showed this off because like you do have one badge that kills enemies quicker, because I guess I'm keeping in battles that show off new badges. But you know, it's
how smooth did you edit it for when you skip battles?
I even did like the there you go, that's what it looks like.
Oh, okay. So it's it looks pretty similar to that one badge. What's that badge called where you can like kill like severely underleveled enemies just by walking into them?
It's called Bump Attack.
That one.
I think that's in Thousand Year Door as well, but you have to like get to like the 80th level of the Pit of 100 Trials or something like that. It's just like fuck that. Like by
Can't wait for our Thousand Year Door playthrough.
Yeah, we can do one of those somewhere down the line too, if depending on what this one does. But yeah, the problem with doing tattles
we'll have to wait for the statistics and the numbers to roll in, see if the profit margin lines up.
Indeed.
If we're going to make Paper Mario the Let's Play series 2.
And then we're going to focus group for the next playthrough. We're going to ask people how many rabid donkeys they want to show up in the next playthrough, and have them rate on a Likert scale, and then we will run a regression analysis and see what comes out.
Was that just a load of horseshit, or is that from something?
It was me ad-libbing, but you know. So another thing I really like.
More like mad-libbing.
That was actually funny, Eric. Congratulations.
Not really. The laugh might have been funny. I don't know about the mad-libbing.
So one thing I really like about
based on the term ad-libbing.
One of the things
What do you like, Michael?
One of the things I really like about
Jews?
One of the things I really like about Paper Mario's battle system. Shut up, you. One of the It is just... The thing is, with most RPGs, you can just sort of spam the attack button and spam the same fire spell over and over again, and then you'll just win all the random encounters. And it's just like, there's not really much strategy to it. Like, sometimes there is for bosses, but for the most of what I played, it's very much use the same generic sword attack over and over again and you win. For Paper Mario, you've got to be a lot more strategic. Like, for example, as you can see,
I agree with that.
Very much from the very beginning, like those 3 different kinds of Goombas all require different strategies. Like the flying ones, you can't use your hammer on, you got to jump on them. For the spiked ones, you got to hammer them, and then that figures into which party members you'll be using on the side too. Like if it's a spiked enemy, you're better off using an enemy that, or a party member that hits from the side or blows up.
AKA once you get Watt, only use Watt.
Yeah, that's why Watt is my favorite partner in the game,
because it is the fucking objectively the best one. Not objectively,
I've heard someone tell me that Paracarry is actually objectively the best one, because like if you can use some of the badges in the game, like there's this badge called D down pound and D down jump, which basically you hit enemies and that lowers their
and then
defense
you
stat.
swoop in with the carry.
Yeah, and then Paracarry has like that shell slam attack thing he can do that does a lot of damage. So like if you lower enemies, but what makes Watt useful, and we aren't going to be seeing her for like until like halfway through the playthrough, but she does a static amount of damage no matter what. And
yeah, she ignores defense.
Yeah, and that's always useful.
And spikes don't matter, flying doesn't matter, so it's like a pretty good default to have this partner out.
I always use her against the final boss, personally. I don't think I've ever used anyone else. Maybe Goombario once he gets his multi-bonk ability and the charge. That's a strategy I'm going to be using, showing off a lot, but...
I think that's what they use for speed runs.
Yeah. Like, I first tried using that against the Chapter 6 boss, and then once I did, it's just like, I use it all the time, because it's great. But another thing that's great about... With most RPGs, it's just like you use your generic sword attack and it's just like, oh, 125 damage, and it's just like they don't show you how much health the enemy has. So basically you just keep hitting them till they die. For Paper Mario, because the numbers are so small and you can use badges and the tattle ability to see how much health they have, it means that you can be a lot more exact with how much damage you're doing and end battles that much quicker. But at the same time, you've also got to negotiate your badge points and your flower points that you're not using. You don't use it all up right away, and you actually have enough badge points to equip what you want. So there's a lot of negotiation and strategy going on to see how you can kill enemies, you know, how you can most efficiently end the battle while using the least amount of FP. It's just... and figuring out which partner is most useful against what types of enemies. It's a very simple battle system that's easy to understand and easy to figure out, but one that has a lot of depth to it. And I feel like, I mean, compared to something like Final Fantasy 13, which is just feels like it's complicated just for the sake of being different and complicated, you know, Paper Mario is a breath of fresh air, and I feel like anyone can pick this game up and get into it right away, even if they're not really into RPGs. Because like I'm not into RPGs, and I love this game. Like
I will agree with you there. As somebody who has a hard time getting into RPGs, this game is really like accessible.
Yeah, I mean, like I for some people, another thing that this game does is that you don't really have to grind much. Because like it's not like most games where like when you level up, your attack stat, defense stat, special attack stat all go up. It's not like Pokemon. It's more like once you get enough experience points, you can upgrade one of 3 things. You can upgrade your health, your flower points, or your badge points. And then your base stats for regular attacks, you can either upgrade with badges or you unlock new items along the way that increase your base stats.
Can I just say that visually that the King Goomba perfectly represents your character?
Represents my character?
Yeah. I think you should change your like avatar and like profile picture to this guy, because it works perfectly. Sort of like the cross-eyed, the ridiculous facial hair. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to. You triggered me just complex. Now.